Hello and welcome back to another WhiskAYE podcast. Nice round number, WhiskAYE podcast number 40. As is the norm, we are on another Dram Team box. This one's from July 2022, being recorded roughly 6 months later. So, on schedule as always.
A little in advance, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Speyside Spectacular. So, should be pretty good for us. That's our bread and butter is Speyside, I would say.
It is, yep, I would agree.
The title card says, "In this box, join us on a joyful journey around the whisky region that boasts Scotland's greatest density of distilleries, Speyside. From light and floral to fruity and sherried to rich and smoky, brackets, surprise." Also, it says here in small, fuck you, Josh. There's something for everyone to be found in what might be Scotch's most famous whisky region, Slange. And then I was going to say, do you think... So my question is, do you think it is more dense than Campbelltown?
I see what you're saying. I reckon
the area of Campbelltown is very small, and technically three.
Yes. So I reckon Campbelltown's probably got it in density, and Islay might even pip Speyside for density. Because it's a small island and it's got like 9.
Depending what sample you take, if you're doing this from an engineering maintenance perspective, right? If your sample is Dufftown.
That's pretty.
That's the most dense place in the world. Yeah.
That is pretty dense, 7 stills and all that.
Yeah. But if your sample is like up by Glenlivet, you're like, there's nothing near here.
Yeah. Can't even see another one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Dufftown, you can pretty much go visual range about like 10
4,
distilleries.
At least, yeah.
If you count closed ones as well, especially.
Yeah. But that was just so that I think it might over the whole region it might actually average out pretty dense. But I think
it's just got the most for the region.
It has the most.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're disputing. It's a question of volume, isn't it? It's we're not disputing the total distilleries, but the density as well.
Define your density.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to send in a letter of complaint there.
Yeah. And then we'll find out that he's done the maths and actually this is how many square meters it is. This is how many.
I always knew it would get cancelled. I just didn't know it would be for maths. Did you want to go for his first whiskey then?
I can dive straight in. Get this train on the road. Steam through them, be done in 20 minutes.
That's a really bad place to put a train, but okay.
What?
On the road.
Yeah. It's a road train.
Oh yeah, ones in China.
They do actually exist. Yeah, they're not great, but
yeah, just buses, but worse.
Yeah, articulated buses. Yeah. Yeah. The first one on our train journey through Speyside, on the Arrows, is Provenance. I'm going to say Delaine, aged 8 years. So the card here says, at the end of the 19th century, Delaine was Speyside's largest distillery. Despite its huge output, it is rarely found as single malt releases. As owners Diageo divert the vast majority of the spirits to large-scale blends. Lucky for us that Dram Team faves Douglas Lang managed to get their hands on a cask then. This single cask release came from a refill hogshead and only 400 or so bottles were produced. Special stuff.
Yeah.
So, this is very clear for an 8-year-old.
It is. It is almost completely transparent.
If you told me this was a new make, I would believe you.
Yeah. Certainly looks younger than 3 years, but it's quite oily. It's got legs.
Might just be that it's in a third or like so it says it's from a refill hogshead, so you know what I mean. Like it could be quite. It's not a first fill, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And if it's a what you call it?
Sherry.
No, why is my brain broken?
You're not got enough whiskey.
American.
What, bourbon?
Yeah, I couldn't get that word.
Suggest it was for.
I could think Kentucky. I could think Tennessee.
Yeah, you'd think
sour
it was for
mash.
its colour, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Right. Anyway, if you want to give it a sniff, I'll tell you what you should be smelling.
Giving it a whiff.
Yeah. So on the nose, it shows an early, dry, gristly style. Oh, gristy style. Sorry. So.
Not gristle. Yep.
Yeah, but warms to vanilla fudge and sweet spices.
I quite like that gristy description. Yeah, I'm in agreement with Bear. I quite like that gristy description. It is kind of like, it's the smell of like oats and that when you like grist, like ground cereal.
Yeah,
it's got a very cereal quality to it. That on the nose,
definitely, I'd say.
There's a bit of vanilla there. Yeah,
it's got that. There's a little bit of like citrus, but not a lot.
Like a tang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could give you that.
Like an orange fudge or something.
Yeah.
Because it's
definitely got that fudginess. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Maybe not orange. It's closer to lemon, and I don't think you would buy a lemon fudge. That sounds pretty terrible.
I don't know if it was like lemon curd fudge.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
Right. You ready to give it a drink? Oh, it does actually have legs. I've just seen that after swirling it around. They were
they're pretty substantial.
Meandering down the glass.
Yes, I am ready to dive in.
Okay, so on your palate should be mellow and dulcet, leading to a later toffee and pearl barley character, with a finish that says catch some light chocolate, honeycomb, gentle oak, and runny honey.
It's very refreshing. It's very light. It's got that kind of Glen Grant quality to it.
That makes sense. I know you shouldn't judge your whiskey by how it looks, but there's an element of how your whiskey looks that you can allow to influence.
Yeah,
if it's this light,
influences, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's this light, they definitely haven't added caramel. Now I understand if it's quite dark, they might have added colouring to make it look like the rest of the whiskey in the range, even though it doesn't add flavour. But
so yeah, I mean, dulcet. I've never heard this used to describe taste before, but I kind of get what they're coming across. You all right there?
Went down the wrong hole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I like.
Tried to not cough over you, but
that's all right. It happens to the best of us. I like the pearl barley because it's kind of got that. You know when your pearl barley is not sweet, but it's kind of it's like a sweet grain, like a sweet cerealiness to it.
Yeah,
I like that. Don't really get chocolate. Definitely get the gentle oak, and it's warming. Like it seems to just slowly. It's like boiling a frog. You don't notice the heat building because it's so gradual, but it does deliver quite a bit of warmth by the end.
It doesn't.
Oh, I'm getting more vanilla on the second.
Yeah, it doesn't like. It's not got really any big characters.
It's not bold.
That's
no,
not a problem.
Yeah.
It's just it's a good sipping whiskey, I would say.
It's almost. It's like on the cusp of like single grain vanilla-iness, but not quite. It's not quite there. It's making me think of it a little bit in those kind of. It's got those notes, and it doesn't have any usual single malt notes. The broader kind of mouthfeel.
It's a little bit too buttery for that, I think.
It is very buttery. Very buttery. I like that.
And
surprisingly warming.
Yeah, buttery is not a problem for me.
No, I could quite. Well, I mean, that's why I think we've said this in a lot of podcasts, but that's why restaurant food tastes so good because they cook it in crap tons of butter.
Actually, are you aware of the internet sensation Uncle Roger?
No.
He's like an Asian guy. He's a character. I think he's the guy who plays him is called Stephen Ng.
Right.
But he's a character. It's essentially he watches. He reacts to cooking videos
Right.
Where like he started with like Western chefs making Asian food and just criticizing them, being like Uncle Roger all the time, putting on like the accent.
Yeah.
But he basically is known for just espousing MSG and butter, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
it is how restaurant food tastes so good. It's just they just put loads of butter on it.
Yeah. So he went there. This guy, Fry, who was cooking him a wagyu that was actually not butter. This wagyu fried it in wagyu butter and MSG solution.
Right.
So wagyu fat, it was wagyu butter, I think, but made with the fat. So it's like a butter, but very heavily, more like a lard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Does sound nice.
Turns out fat and salt is like what your body's after. A bit of sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a big fan of it. This is really nice. I really like this one.
I do. That's what I'm saying, is that like this is the sort of whiskey that if you had, I mean, you'd be lucky to get one, but if you had a bottle,
yeah, only 400 made, yeah,
you could. That would be a good one to crack out, and people would like sort of like clear this, and then they'd have a sip of it, and they'd be like, "That's really good." That
it's almost sad, isn't it, that apparently a lot of it isn't released as single malt because it's used in. You say it was used mainly in blends.
Yeah, I mean if it's
Diageo.
Oh no, it's Diageo. I'm not sure would that be White and Mackay? Can't remember.
Might be. Yeah, it's a shame because that's a really nice spirit that they've got.
I think they've got quite a lot of. I mean, I guess that to make a decent blend, you still need the decent spirit. So
true. Do you want to give this one a score?
I'd be happy to give that a 3.5. I think.
I think a 3.5 is a good, fair shout.
Because, like as I said, there was no bold characters or anything super special about it, but it was very nice. So
I think we ought to come up with words for each grade.
Yeah.
So like 3.5 is like sessionable. Mm-hmm. Like I could have, like you say, I could quite happily crack through most of a bottle.
Yeah.
Other than the alcohol, but as in, it's one you could keep having quite happily.
Yeah.
So yeah, like.
But then a 5, the problem is that you get there's like wouldn't drink it below about a 2. Like, and then anything above a 4, you're like, I would keep this for special occasions. So there's like
2 is like bells.
Yeah.
And then anything below that, you get into. We ought to have 2 columns maybe because some of the ones I've given low grades aren't bad whiskies. I just don't like the flavors.
Yeah.
So it's either rubbish or too peated for Josh.
Yeah. That's fair. I think it's fine. I think scoring in general is a flawed concept for things like this, but it's all subjective. People. And that's the point of it. It would be pretty boring if it was an objective score because we would just look up what the objective score is.
Yeah, we always happen exactly the same one as it online.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to move us on to the second one?
Yes.
And this should be one you're looking forward to, I think.
We've both experienced this.
I think we have, but is it this particular one?
I'm not sure. I think they actually do have a couple, but I've definitely bought this bottle for someone, and I'm pretty sure I might have a bottle of this exact one. I haven't read. When you read it, I'll let you know.
So this is the Tamnavulin Red Wine Cask Edition, and the card reads, "This single malt is notable for 2 reasons. Firstly, this is a German Pinot Noir cask finish. So, Firstly, you don't see a lot of German Pinot Noir red wine cask finishes. It's the first we've seen, in fact. Secondly, you don't see a lot of quality single malts for under £25 a bottle. This Tamnavulin is both these things. Lucky us. A tasty twist on their classic Speyside flavour profile." So it could be in like Glen Moray territory here, like criminally underrated.
I've got a Cab Sauv, so.
What, sir?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
So yeah, it's a different red wine cask finish. There
you go.
A German Pinot Noir. Fair enough. Well, we'll see what difference it makes. So this one's a lot darker.
I mean, you got to imagine that if you're using a red wine cask, you're going to be quite dark.
Fair point. But this one's a NAS rather than an 8 years, so
I think
shows
again,
the influence
when
of
you're
the type of cask more so than the age sometimes, doesn't it?
I think again when you're using wine casks, there'll be quite a variance in the age of the whiskey that goes in, because I think the different casks will be very different.
Yeah.
And it'll be a strong influence in some that you want to get out quite quick, and in others it'll be.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. So on the nose, we should get soft aromas of Turkish delight, caramelized peaches, and Seville oranges with hints of red cherries and apple pie. So what I'm reading from that is fruit.
Mm-hmm. What is the flavour of Turkish delight?
Rosewater.
That's the one. I
knew you were going to ask that. That's why I had it ready. I was like, I bet he asks this, and I've been doing this too long with you.
I didn't think I was a fan because I'd only ever had, the Fry's Turkish delight, and it's in quite dark chocolate, and I felt like the flavors didn't go. But then I had actual Turkish delight on it, like in powdered sugar.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, actually, this is okay.
Yeah, my mum's a big fan of Turkish delight, but she likes like the fancy ones. So I was the same. Tried the basic ones, were like, this is not that great. And then try the fancy ones, like, actually, this is all right. Turns out most things are all right when they're made properly.
Yeah. It's like when you get you're like, I definitely don't like, this one type of food. Like I used to think I didn't like mushrooms, and then turns out I don't like fried mushrooms that you get to fry up.
Yeah. Oh, it's like if you're in America and you're like, I don't like chocolate, and then you actually have chocolate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With like some cocoa in it.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, we're not ones to say because our chocolate's gone downhill rapid, but still, thanks to the Americans. Anyway, are you getting Turkish delights and oranges and peaches and cherries?
It is a sort of perfumed, fruity smell. So
I like perfumed.
I would go closer to a Parma Violet myself, but that's.
I get like the pastriness from an apple pie, but I do like the perfume because it almost feels like it is a perfume, like it's covering something up, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Perfume.
There's something behind it, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a lighter thing than if it was the actual smell of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll let you dive in. You should get.
Sorry. I've not got the right card over.
Let me know when you're ready, and I will tell you what you should be tasting.
I'm ready.
Okie dokie. Flavors of vanilla, peach flan, and ginger spice slowly yield to reveal glacé cherries, succulent figs, and licorice. And the finish is enduring and decadent. Like our podcast.
That's wildly smooth. And I'm not saying that. I know that's like a swear word, but.
Wow, that doesn't even touch the size, does it?
No. There's no. I know it's like 40% alcohol. It's like chill filtered or whatever.
There's no alcohol in that.
It doesn't taste like it has any alcohol in it.
There's no alcohol in that. There's no burn. There's a little bit of warmth now, like a good 10 seconds after swallowing it.
Yeah.
But there's no tingling on the tongue. Yeah, that's quite dangerous, actually. Do you reckon you could gulp that?
I think so, but I'm not going to try.
No, I'm not going to try, but I think you actually could. It's nice, though.
It does have like a peachy flavour to it.
Yeah, I think peach is a good shout. I'm not really getting any ginger spice. Maybe.
No.
Not licorice either, because that's generally quite bitter.
Yeah, I would just say it is like.
It's like a light, like a diluted sweetness.
Yeah, like a peach. I was going to say, have you ever had like a peach sparkling water or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like peach is just water. Like it's like a touch of peach, not like peach is so big.
Yeah, like a Volvic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, that's a good shout. I like that.
Actually, I'm actually really annoyed because my favourite Volvic touch-off was the peach, and they don't make it anymore. They changed it to peach and orange, and the orange dominates, and it's annoying.
Well, it would do in that, yeah. I'm trying to desperately pull out any other flavours from this. Like figs, maybe, but it's been a long time since I've had any figs, so I can't really recall. I'm trying to do that trick we do where you just try and think of what memories does it stir up, and the flavoured water is a good one.
That's what. It's that smooth though. Like it's not. There's no burn on this. That's why I think that's coming to me. Is it's like this is literally like a slightly fruity, watery flavour. Not
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Just in a this handles itself really well kind of way.
Weirdly, a whiskey that might be refreshing on a warm day.
Yeah. Potentially.
Which is something I've never considered a whiskey being capable of doing.
No, you're never like, oh, I'm parched. I'm just going to get myself a quick whiskey.
I mean, I think it would be a terrible decision on your part if you decided to drink whiskey.
It's like when I said, could you gulp it? It'd be a really bad plan.
Yeah.
But I think physically...
I'm pretty sure it's a bad idea to have like a crisp, refreshing 4% lager to quench your thirst on a hot day.
Yes.
Going to a 40% is probably a really bad idea.
Yeah, they should just sell it in cans, 330ml cans.
Did Aldi.
Yeah. What's this new beer? It's percentage 40%. That's pretty good.
It's awfully flat, this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just, it's a bit boring. Then there's not even any alcohol in this. Jesus Christ, why can't I see?
Yeah, but that was surprising and very pleasant. Is what I would say about that.
Yeah, I like that. What score do you want to give that one?
Almost purely from like intrigue, I want to give it a 4.
We give it a 4.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm thinking 3.5 still.
I just think it's like I'm confused by it, and I tend to make me.
It is different. It's certainly, and if I think if we had those two scales of score, one of them would be. You could be a 5 by being really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think you can also be a 5 or a higher score by being quite good but unique.
Yeah.
Memorable. What I'd say is it's definitely underpriced at 25 quid or less than 25 quid a bottle.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, the other ones were on sale at like 25 quid, like the one I've got. So.
I would say that is a steal because that was very pleasant indeed. But I also think that's one of those ones. If you had someone who really likes whiskey as a friend, or family member, whatever, or you got them that, and they were really into the whiskey, they'd probably not like that.
Oh, they'd probably be like,
it's too weak. It's too watery.
Yeah. I do think, I'm not going to revise my score, but the thing that I would be possibly revise my score back to 3.5 for is that I'm like, I probably wouldn't want to have too many of them because.
Yeah, but I think this is the point, isn't it? I think me and you approach whiskey in less of a. All whiskies must be like.
I want to buy a bottle. 15
years old, and they must, lots of alcohol, and you have to think about it. It's like, it takes some thought to be able to drink, and it's got all these layers and complexities in that. Sometimes it could just be really simple and easy to drink and nice.
Yeah.
But I think whiskey especially attracts. I think all. Like wine and that and spirits do attract the kind of person that if it's not like layers upon layers of complexity and needs deciphering, then they're just not interested.
Yeah. I say all premium products, really.
Yeah.
Food. Premium consumables, we'll call them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Do you want to move us on to number 3?
Yeah. Number 3 is...
I've been looking forward to this one.
Scallywag aged 10 years. So, the Scallywag series is a beautifully sherried and richly spiced range, typically including single malts from the likes of famous Bayside distilleries Macallan, Mortlach, and Glenrothes. Wowzers. That's a 3 that would probably be pretty good at chucking them in a sherry cask, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This 10-year matured version is a noticeable step up from the core range release. Enjoy sipping the very essence of Speyside.
So we've had a Scallywag before. We had the Scallywag Chocolate Edition, and we gave that a 4.5.
So hopefully this can. It's apparently a step up, but mind you, chocolate edition doesn't sound like core range, does it?
No, and the chocolate edition, I think we were just surprised because it actually tasted chocolatey.
Yeah.
And we both like chocolate.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyone who says they don't is probably American.
I was going to say, oh, stupid.
Yeah.
But that feels a little
pretty big crossover on that venue. Just kidding.
There goes our international.
Just kidding. We voted for Boris, and you voted for Trump. Everyone's an idiot.
Yeah, we don't get to take the high road against the Americans at the moment.
Also, it's possible that you voted for Trump for valid reasons. That was just.
Yeah, not everyone's evil who opposes you. Some people are just stupid. Right. Go on then, what should I be smelling?
On the nose, there should be a chocolate / mocha deck with allspice immediately apparent. So I'm guessing a Christmassy hot chocolate. It does have a bit of a.
There is like I'd say cocoa rather than.
Yeah, that's
chocolate.
why. So that's probably where they're getting to the mocha from, where it's more cocoa-y.
There's a little hint of bitterness there, so like the coffee, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making me think cocoa. That I must admit.
It does have some kind of spiciness.
Yeah.
I guess I don't even know what allspice it is. It's a sort of nutmeggy looking thing. I'm pretty sure. But
yeah, I think so. It's like I think allspice is like the Christmas spice. Like. Yeah. I mean, I know nutmeg and cinnamon is, but like it's the one that if you taste Christmas stuff, it's the one they use.
Yeah. Probably fits very much in the same flavour profiles of nutmeg and cinnamon then.
Yeah, you know what? Sweet. The only thing more Christmassy than that is
what?
Chris Tingle.
Chris Tingle oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a spicy orange, isn't it? Like a cloves in an orange.
That's a lemon. Lemon's just a spicy orange. Lemons are the same thing, aren't they? They're human made.
Apparently, yeah. Don't know which person failed their biology.
Kind of idiot made a lemon.
Physics, biology PhD by trying to make it a better orange and turning it super bitter.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
Going in for a sip.
I am.
So the palette is archetypically Speyside in character, with dark chocolate, zesty orange, and more mocha. A finish that lingers on and on with macerated dark fruits and spice imbued by the. Oh, that's a typo. And spice imbued by the cherry wood.
You like that?
Quality control.
You will like that quite a lot.
It's actually chocolate now as I go to drink on the nose.
Yeah, I think you'll greatly enjoy that. That is still getting me with the warmingness. I like the archetypal Speyside. This is very Speyside, sherried Speyside. It does have that kind of chocolatiness, cocoa-iness to it. There's a little bit of like that kind of Christmas spice around the edges.
It's more bitter in the flavour.
There's a little bit of that bitterness. It's just, this is very nice.
And I'd say the finish does have that. It's more like a macerated. It's like dark forest, like black forest cherries.
Yeah.
But not the like if you were to like cook them till they were like took the edge off.
It's like a black forest gatto, but made with dark chocolate, like very dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is very nice.
I was a bit decadent, and we had some leftover chocolate orange cheesecake, which I had for my pudding after my dinner. I don't normally have a pudding on a Monday. Don't normally have a pudding on not the weekend. But we made it, and then the problem with making a cheesecake is you can't for going to someone's house where there's 4 of you is you can't really make a 4-portion cheesecake in a cake.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Christmas do coming up Wednesday. I think I've got a pudding there. Can't remember if it was a 2-course one or 3-course. If it was a 2-course, I'd have probably gone for pudding anyway.
Yeah, often the starters on those set menus are.
It's usually the same crap in it. Some kind of soup, some kind of like prawn thing.
Yeah,
you're not going to get vegan thing, and
you're not going to get a good like.
Well, to be fair, the one I went to last week, the Christmas do, their starter was I had calamari.
Oh, that I would probably pick that.
That's a solid starter.
Or as I say, anything halloumi.
Yeah, halloumi. Yeah.
Or even I take a mozzarella fritter. But
yeah, quite like a mozzarella fritter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I quite like a prawn cocktail, to be honest.
I don't like Mary Rose.
I quite like it. But then I've got parents coming here for Christmas.
Oh, are you making a prawn cocktail then?
Yeah. No, but going to be doing a fruit cake.
Yeah.
And my old man's bringing some strong cheese because that's how you eat fruit cake.
Yeah, with a bit of cheese on it.
You've got to have a bit of cheese on fruit cake.
I think.
Butter's okay on fruit cake, but cheese elevates it like a strong like cheddar.
Yeah. We'll be having a sticky toffee pudding for pudding at my house. So.
Very nice.
Yes.
Is your other half all right, by the way?
Yeah. You hear a cough in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just had a cough for a few days.
I'm gonna say just checking she's okay.
No COVID, we hope. That'll be the third time in a year. It's not great.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Although I'd rather get it now than in a week.
True. Yeah. I was gonna say, do you want to give this one a scar, but I haven't finished drinking it because I'm enjoying savouring it quite a lot.
That's been very good.
But I will say
that you're also probably trying to delay us because not so much the next one, but the one after.
I'm trying to keep us pacey actually because I was like, oh, we're dropping behind on times. So let's give this one a scar and then finish it. So I would say for that one. I just
took a big sip, so mine's done.
Okay, I would quite happily give that one a 4.
Yeah, I'd say a 4 straight for that. 4. I can't not give it a 4 if I give the last one a 4. Is what I would say.
It is nice. It is nice. Let me just finish mine off, and then is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Okie dokie. Very nice.
I'm not sure how I feel about the new branding of the brand that's coming, the whiskey that's coming up.
I'm trying to remember their old branding.
It was more handwritten style.
I quite like these kind of printed styles, but it almost feels like the very. So I'll put people out the misery and then we can discuss it. Yeah. So it's the Benramac, aged 15 years. So Benramac is a little bit different to your typical Speyside malt, containing a wonderful little waft of peat smoke, alongside the classic fruit, spice, and sherry notes typifying the region. Matured in both first fill, as my co-host would say, Kentucky or Tennessee or
American, eh?
Yeah. First fill bourbon and sherry casks. This is a multi-award-winning dram with incredible complexity. So it feels like they've almost gone the same way as their very close namesake, the Benriach. Because they are. I mean, I don't like the capital in the middle of the word, and the reason I don't like that is because when I played World of Warcraft, my guild had a capital in the middle of the word that didn't need it, but it's because when I made the guild, I was remaking someone else's guild and I gave it the same name. And that always bothered me. So I'm guessing the guy who runs or used to run Benriach and has gone to the other one was inspired by my guild on World of Warcraft.
That's why most likely, yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the most likely option. My casual 10-man guild back in Wrath of the Lich King.
Important either.
It was. Right. Let's. For those of you who played it, you will know that was the best expansion. Screw you if you think Burning Crusade. Unsubscribe if you think Burning Crusade.
Is Wrath of the Lich King not when they sort of redid vanilla?
No, that was Cataclysm. Wrath of the Lich King was basically like the end of like the threats that had been set up since Warcraft 3. And it was when they had to try and get a bit more original and they kind of fell on their ass. It was also the peak of my raiding career and when I was playing with most friends, so I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah.
Right. So on the nose, aromas of sweet toffee.
You haven't read. Oh no, you did, yeah.
I did.
Sorry.
God. I know I'm forgettable, but Jesus, it's not usually that quick. Right, can I do the nose now? Do you want me to read the card again?
Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to WhiskAYE podcast number 40. This time we're starting halfway through a box. Right, on the nose, aromas of sweet toffee leading to notes of cracked black pepper and peat smoke. Rich forest fruits develop with dark chocolate and dried banana. You know, I've never been in a forest that has fruit.
I mean, I've seen fruits in a forest.
Like what?
Like berries and stuff.
Yeah, maybe berries, but I feel like they're still not forest fruits. They're like hedgerows.
Definitely, the flavour of forest fruits is very berry dominated.
Would you say apples and pears are forest fruits then?
So they're orchard fruits.
Yeah, but what is an orchard but a forest?
It's like what is a canal but a river, I suppose.
Yeah. We're now doing a Mensa test.
Yeah.
A canal is to a river as an orchard is to a question.
Yeah. If you ever look up forest fruits, it's like brambles or blackberries, depending on which country in the UK you're in.
You call them brambles?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I call the plant a bramble, but the fruit a blackberry.
Yeah. And like raspberries and blueberries and stuff like that.
There's quite a lot of peat on that one, actually.
But apple would fall under forest fruits according to this. So
I thought whatever. There is quite a lot of peat on the nose.
Yeah, I was that when you said peat, I went, I don't know if you heard, because I just took a sniff and I was like, this smells.
Well, I knew Ben and Mac had some peat in it.
Yeah, but
I still have a bottle of it, but this is quite peated on the nose.
I mean, I've got a bottle of wood finished, so
I've got a little bit left of that Chateau Cisac, but that was a classy whiskey. That was.
I don't think they make it anymore.
No, I don't think they do.
I asked for it for like 2 Christmases in a row, and then continued to not save any and drink it.
That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Well then, I'll let you dive in because you can then warn me. So, creamy and sweet, with ripe apples and an undertone of charred oak. Dark chocolate develops and leads to toasted malt and orange peel, with a subtle hint of smoke. And the finish is a medium creamy finish with soft smoke and dried fruit.
Whilst I would agree that in the scheme of things, this is a subtle hint of smoke with a soft smoky finish. I think you're going to think this is far too peaty.
I would say too peaty, but not far too peaty, actually. Okay. That's quite... And you can.
There are other flavours that you can taste.
You can quote me on this. That's quite pleasant. Like the peat actually works with the other flavours for once. It's not going against them.
Yeah, the flavours in this do feel kind of like a Christmas bonfire.
Yeah, it's like the peat actually adds something for once, rather than just like kicks the crap out of every other flavour and demands attention. It's complimentary. I can live with that. This might be my favourite peated whiskey.
Pretty good.
To say the smell, if I went by smell alone, that would have put me straight off.
I think, so what I'm getting from Ben and Mac whiskies is I think the longer they're in the cask, the more it comes to.
Well, isn't that how they get their peat? From the cask, rather than from the barley?
I think so. I think they peat. Like when they char their casks, they do it over a peat fire or something like that. I'm not sure.
I thought it was something that, like, you know, like a Lafroig cask or a Lagavulin, you know, previously.
Or it might be, yeah. Although I thought they had like organic in it and stuff, so they.
It says it's matured in first fill bourbon and sherry casks, so maybe not. Yeah, maybe it is a little bit of like 5% peated malt with.
I wasn't sure if they charred their casks with peat smoke.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, not peat smoke, a peat fire, which would then.
Yeah.
Look,
I know what you mean.
I'm pretty sure they told us, but they told us like 6-7 years ago.
They told us while we were drinking as well.
Yeah, at 10 in the morning.
Yep. Yeah. Just far down. Every time I tell someone that, like the trick to drinking a lot, like, because I mean, we had like 20 that day, maybe something like that. And I was like, yeah, but it started at like 10 a.m. and finished at like 11 p.m. So it was okay. And they always kind of like roll their eyes at you, being like, oh yeah, that sounds okay. It's like, no, but it is. That's the trick.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not 2 an hour, but it's essentially you never get drunk enough that it's like bad, and your actual body. I mean, it's not good for you. Don't get me wrong.
No, but your body
has time to process things.
Yeah. Whereas when we do like a whiskey festival, when you have the same amount in 2 hours, it kills you.
You only have 2 hours to do this, so your body's like, all right. I've discovered that my liver has this. I think it's now got a function where it's like I will hold back the tides, but then when I decide that you've had enough, I'm just going to make you smashed straight away. It's been doing that a lot recently. But I'm like, fine. I'm really drunk all of a sudden.
That certainly happened to me when I was last up there and went out for those old fashions.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm doing fine. You know, we've barely had that much to drink compared to what we normally do.
Yeah.
And then those old fashions ruined me. Like literally ruined me. And yet when we went up to Speyside, I kept up with you quite happily. I mean, I think that was probably the lightest drinking session we've had.
Yeah, it was. Well, most places seem to be shut, so that was.
There was that.
There's a bit of post-COVID on that, and a bit of apparently Mondays aren't a thing.
Mondays aren't a thing in Speyside. But you know, I think if we do a trip in whenever we're planning it, you know, a trip to Inverness in July.
Yeah.
I think me and you need to go on it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Show the others how it's done.
Yeah. Like keep up, and then when we fall over and the others.
Do you reckon?
Two smashed lightweights.
Do you reckon Thief will be able to still outdrink us?
I don't know what he's been up to. He looks to have lost some weight, which is.
But so have you.
Which is part of what my problem has been. I still think that I have an extra 20 kilos to hide alcohol in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
You know what the dark horse is, don't you? Though.
I think I do.
Professional.
Yeah. We'll see. That's
London
drinking for you.
London drinking, yeah. They might put us both under the table at this point. I'm kind of reliant on you because I feel like in terms of whiskey drinking, our ego is shared.
Yeah.
So long as one of us carries it, we're okay, if you see what I mean. And it's never going to be me. And I have the excuse that, you know, I have a lot less body to even in your current slimmed down version.
Yeah.
I'm not quite as tall as you. No. Close, very close.
Yes, just a few feet.
I mean, you can't actually measure it in feet and not actually be being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like what, half?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I'm reliant on you to have decent whiskey fizz so that when we go there, you can keep going.
Well, I mean, we'll only be like a few months out of like Christmas, New Year's, my birthday, so I should still be carrying some of that.
Yeah, I've been doing okay, keeping a steady kind of burn going, so I think I'll be all right. It'd be good if we could get as many as we could to some whiskey tours, though, and then we can just like be off. Condescending the whole time.
What do you mean you didn't know that?
What do you think this is? Don't tell them, tour guide. What do you think this is? No, you're wrong. What's the name of that? You didn't know it was a spirit safe. Get out.
Yeah.
And then I get to be condescending to everybody in the room when we actually drink the whiskies, and I tell them why they're doing it wrong.
Yeah. So what you could do, right, is not use peat.
Did you know if you chop down a tree, you can burn that? You ever heard of this thing called wood?
Yeah. Did you know that in this modern era, you don't even have to use a fire to dry things?
Right. Do you want to give that one a score?
Yeah, I'd probably give that a 3.5.
Yeah. I would happily give that a 3.5. I could have another one of them.
Yeah. I've actually almost lost the peat flavour in my mouth as well. So.
Yeah, for once. So I mean, obviously we're about to go to the next one. And I think this, you know, that the Benramac 15 was how you do peat right, in my opinion. It complemented the flavours. It had a purpose. It wasn't peat to be peat.
Yeah.
I think, well, you tell us
just try to rinse my glass a little bit because there's still a bit of a peaty smell in it.
Peat is quite a lingering flavour. But I feel like you might not need to for this next one. But I might suggest a fresh glass for the last one.
I could probably. I've cleared it out now, but I could probably get behind you what you're saying there.
We'll see how bad this next one is, and if needs be, there might be some technical difficulties to us listeners while we go and get a fresh glass for the last one.
Okay. This one is the Balvenie Week of Peat.
I think you pronounced that name wrong.
The Balvenie. Yeah. Also, week is spelled W-E-A-K. So it says here.
Please let us have a talk.
Please, one day.
I need to get a Ben React glass.
Yeah. Just a reason to go up.
Yeah.
So it says on the card, we divert even further afield from the classic Speyside profile with an unusual release from Sean Connery from this famous distillery.
There.
Yeah, from this famous distillery. For just 1 week each year, Balvenie distill barley that has been kiln dried by burning of Speyside peat. The result is an Islay-inspired remix of their classic Speyside style. Wonderful, rich honey, vanilla, and citrus notes blanketed in a layer of delicate smokiness. Say delicate.
Peat has been many things, right, in whiskey, but it has never been delicate. It is not. It's like a delicate application of TNT. It's still violent.
Yeah.
Peat is inherently violent.
Oh, speaking of things it's never been.
Yeah.
The nose has gentle, sweet peat smoke. So whether you think it's gentle, lighter floral notes and delicate butterscotch honey.
Sweet peat always makes me more nervous. But we'll see.
It's quite sweet, to be fair.
It is, and the peat's more subtle on the nose than the last one, I'd say.
There is some honey notes in there.
It's quite heavy.
Yeah, I would say. That would be, the floral is definitely heavy.
Yeah, that's quite heavy. Okay.
So, I'm guessing that the Speyside peat comes from Heather.
Yeah, but it said again, if the Islay flavours, and Islay peat tends to be quite coastal, doesn't it? For obvious reasons.
Yeah, but I think
anyway,
just taking a nod to the style. But yeah.
Here we go.
You psyched up?
Psyched up.
Up enough?
Yep.
Okay. On the palate, velvety and round to taste with the peat smoke balancing citrus flavours, oaky vanilla and blossom honey. The finish is gentle smoke with a lingering and creamy vanilla sweetness.
So, it doesn't have the peat to begin. Velvety, fair enough. It's quite citrusy. I quite like citrus oaky kind of flavours. That's good. But then the peat comes through, and it's that kind of. It's not medicinal peat. It is heavy peat.
It's chewy.
It is chewy, and the peat does like slowly just envelop everything, and the finish is very peaty. It's not offensive.
It's gently smoky.
I would say mid. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
But it is more so. I'd say the Ben Mac was gently smoky. I'd say this was more so.
I think there's like a weird caramelized, like condensed cream.
Yeah. Well, condensed milk, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. My brain was thinking this through, creamy things.
Yeah. I mean, the second taste was not as bad as the first.
Like your palate's like, okay, we're done with the smoke, and it just ignores it.
Well, this is why I always try and tell my old man when I try and get him to taste whiskey. It's like the first taste is never the best. You've got to let it coat your mouth and then take a second taste and see what you reckon. Because the first taste, if it's your first whiskey of the day, it's just going to be alcohol generally. That's going to overpower it a little bit, and then you take the second one when you've adapted, and you get the subtler flavors.
This does have some form of sweetness that is a creamy sweetness.
It's not offensive. It's not upsetting me.
Typical of the Bad Benny to do something that we don't particularly like. Well,
this is the problem, isn't it, with the Bad Benny?
Possible to hate.
They upset us by legitimately cancelling this tour and me not checking my inbox, but it's their fault. But
yeah,
they also make really nice whiskey, and we really want to do a tour.
Yeah.
Goddamn Bad Benny.
Almost like they're like one of the top ones for a reason.
Yeah, and that's why we hate them. Yeah. But also, we'd like to do a tour. Please don't. Please don't.
British. We love an underdog, but also,
please don't judge us. Yeah. If anyone asks, if this podcast does get popular and somehow gets back to Bad Benny, my name's Rob Alder.
Yeah.
And my colleague is also Rob Alder. I'm just doing a voice.
Yeah.
I've just been talking to myself this whole time.
Very lonely because I live in Cumbria.
And I make wooden rings like an idiot. A moment of clarity due to alcohol. and on an actual serious note, there's nothing wrong with making rings, wooden or otherwise. Please don't get upset with us, Rob. That was just a cheap. If
anyone's listening, go and buy some rings from Lakeland Rings. # not spawn.
Is that his?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. If you're listening and
somehow made it this far through,
you made it this far, and you're interested in that stuff, please check him out. He's a top bloke. And if we can get him enough popularity,
pay us for a sponsorship.
Yeah, you won't have to keep working where he works. So
yeah.
Yes, please do.
Anyway,
I'm gonna keep going on with this.
I'm nearly ready to give a score.
That was a big gulp, which is a good test of it.
After you've left it a while, the smoke comes back.
No, that wasn't too smoky.
Yeah, it's back more. It's not all the way back.
Yeah. Do you want to give that one a score then?
I'm going to say that I would give that the same score as the Benramac for 3.5.
Yeah. I reckon a 3.
I can understand why that would happen.
It's not quite as good as the Benramac, but it's certainly not upsetting me, despite it being peated. So let's give a good rinse to the glass. I don't think it's so heavily peated that we need to switch up.
My glass is okay.
Yeah, I think we can continue.
I can't smell any peat out of it just now. I'm more worried about my palate, to be honest. I've had a fair swig of water.
Yeah,
should probably have like apples or something, but then everything will just taste like it's.
Yeah, I don't know how you reset. I know you reset your nose, but I don't know if you can reset your taste buds.
I feel this is going to sound like an absolute alcoholic, but I actually do think like a mild or like a crisp lager does a very good job of it, because it's like.
Yeah, like
water doesn't do anything to the alcohol in your mouth, whereas I think that the beer manages to take it with it a little bit. Yeah, like a good Pilsner.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
But as I said, it does make you sound like an alcoholic. Like, oh, I have to have a pint with my 6th whiskey.
Well, I think we did that one time.
That's what we were doing when we were before we had the old fashions.
Yeah, we had a pint to slow down.
Yeah.
Which is difficult for me. I think the listeners need to appreciate how little I go out on like any kind of drinking sesh.
Yeah.
Like, I am the guy who, like at Christmas, after the meal, it was 8:30 and everyone's like, where are we going next? I was like, I'm going to the train station. So, the fact that when I'm out with my colleague here on the whiskey drinking thing, I generally generally keep up with you.
Yeah.
Till the end is usually just due to sheer bloody mindedness on my part. And when I say keep up, I mean I drink the same as him. I don't mean I'm in the same state as him. Generally, he's quite cogent and fine, and I am not.
There have been a couple of occasions where that has been the case, yes.
Yes, basically, that's why I quite like getting drunk with my my co-host here, because I know he'll get me back to somewhere safe.
I mean, the time in Bristol, I absolutely I was on my way down the same path, and I managed to just get the taxi before I hit it.
Yeah, I was gone. I was not just down the path, I was off the path and in the woods.
By the time we exited the taxi, I was in the same state.
I think you were, because we both just got back at like 4 p.m. went, see you tomorrow, and went to bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we both were struggling by that point.
But that was a ridiculously high.
That was, I think that was the most, even the Stramash, I don't think was as much in as little time. I think we must have done more than 20 in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
At that Bristol one, because we got there late, didn't we?
Yeah.
And didn't eat.
Yeah,
we gymmed.
We went outside and had a
hot dog. Yeah. For good times. We need to do another festival at some point.
Yeah, this should be back now. So.
Yeah, we were going to do one, weren't we? And then Nicola cancelled it.
Oh yeah. And then I had to go to a wedding.
Yeah. Well, good thing is you've been to a lot of weddings recently, so you must be running out of friends getting married.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to do the last one then?
I think it's you that's reading it.
It is. But I was just asking if you were ready.
Oh, do you want to start? Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah. I thought you were asking me to read the card. I was like,
no, you just always got to be a smart ass. That's the problem, you see. You got to be more genuine like me. I will not dignify that.
Genuine JJ.
Yeah, I wish my co-host's name began with a J. I'd call him Sajid.
What?
If your name began with a J, it'd be Javid, wouldn't it? Javid.
Yeah.
So I'd call him Sajid.
Yeah, it would be.
That was a joke.
I got there as you were explaining.
It was one of them many step ones.
Yeah.
It's like where I was trying to explain to a guy who works for me called Thomas why I want to keep calling him Reed. And it's because his name's Thomas, and that reminds me of one of the companies we work with, which is Thornton Tomasetti.
Yeah.
And then Thornton Reed is like a character from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, played by Richard Ayoade. So I want to call him Reed. And then I was tempted to call him Left On because it's left on red.
Yeah.
But I like taking an extra step each time. Keep him guessing, keep him scared.
Yeah.
All right. So the final dram of the evening, you'll be happy to know we've got there, is that Boutique Whiskey Co. Tormore, aged 21 years. And I'd just like to say, typing out that Boutique Whiskey Co. is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. But I do like the whiskies.
Yeah.
And the labels. I really like the labels. Yeah, they got another cool one on this one. We wrap up this tasty Taurus Speyside with a long-matured indie bottling nestled on the edge of the Cairngorms National Park, home to some of the UK's highest mountains. The distillery name comes from the Gaelic for the big hill. Tormore?
Tormore, yeah.
Tormore.
Tor is hill, more is...
Okay. Yes, apologies. So, enjoy a special little sample from a special big hill. On the nose, what's the thing of freshly cut grass?
Hay fever.
No, what's the smell?
Is there a name for it, like?
Yeah, because we can smell it. Humans can smell it better than the sharks can smell blood in water. Anyway, freshly cut grass, hay, apples, vanilla ice cream, milk chocolate, cashew nuts, slight cinnamon spice, prickle, banana chips, and nutmeg. It'll come to me. It's on if I was sober, I'd have got it.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, but it does make sense to me because you can always tell when it's spring.
It's because it's what fruit smells like when it starts to rot. So the idea is basically humans in the primitive stage existed a lot on fallen fruit.
Yeah.
So it kind of mattered a lot if you could tell if it was rotten other than visually. Mm-hmm. Because obviously slightly rotten fruit makes you very ill and it'd probably kill you back then.
Yeah.
So we got very good at detecting that smell, and I can't remember what it's called, but someone will tell me in the comments. No, they won't.
Possible.
Chris, you can tell me in the comments. Sometimes you comment.
It does smell like hay, though.
It does. I'm not sure about vanilla ice cream or milk chocolate or cashew nuts.
It has a little bit of a smell of old books.
Yeah, like a leatheriness.
Yeah.
It's quite a deep smell. I'm not getting any sweetness from that at all.
No, I think I get close to it and then my nose stings.
See, I'm not being... Sometimes, you know, you smell a whiskey, you get too deep and it burns out your sinuses. I'm not getting that with this.
I was trying to get to the sweetness for a while there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got a banana in it.
I will let you dive in.
I'm back from the burnt nose hairs. I can smell a sort of banana.
Yeah. So, on the nose, on the palate, lots more orchard fruits, but this time with an element of dried citrus peels. Grapefruit, toasted barley. I can tell I was drunk because I read that as toasted turkey initially. Toasted barley, coffee beans, and a suggestion of bitter dark chocolate. The finish is medium and relatively complex, with the oakiness, sweet spices, and orchard fruits, this time stewed, all coming through.
That's fantastic.
Does it taste like turkey?
No. But you'll see what I mean. It's like super fruity.
That is very fruity, but warming.
Yeah, like a little bit of like sherbety.
Sherbet, vanilla.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's still going, even now. Like different flavors. Normally a finish is just like it's warm and you get that one lingering flavor. That's still going. That is.
It's like tropical-y.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I know it's like a debunked theory, but you know, like the old you have like salt taste buds and you have sweet taste buds and you have umami taste buds and you have
I know it's like you say it's debunked, but I think that comes from mouthfeel.
Yeah, but it's like it's actually like it's dancing around them all, hitting all like it's a timpani drum being like.
That is pretty gorgeous. Oh.
It reminds me in flavor of a little bit of the Tiny Rebel beer, Club Tropica.
Yeah.
Which uses a lot of like tropical fruits, hops. That's why it does that. But it's interesting to get that sort of flavor profiles, and it's continually shifting this.
It is. Yeah.
It's almost like if you suck your tongue.
It is. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had one like this one.
And it goes in a different direction.
I don't think we've ever had one like this one that just keeps. I don't think I've ever had a finish where the flavor changes in the finish.
No, it's usually like finished.
Yeah, or if it does, it's because
this is now how your mouth tastes,
or because it builds. This is still zipping all around.
Yeah, that's what made me think of sherbet. It's like
it is zippy.
It's almost a fizzing through some flavors.
Right. Did you want to give this one a score?
There's a temptation.
Yeah.
To go to the top.
Go for it if you want to.
I'm deliberating. So based on what we said,
4.5 is my personal thing.
I think it is possible to be interesting enough to be a 5, and I think this comes as close as we've ever seen. But I think it just needs it.
Go on, give it a 5. You know you want to.
I'm going to give it a 5.
5.
Yeah.
That might be our first ever.
I think it's one of maybe 2, if there is any.
I'll have a look in a second and I'll let you know.
I've never experienced something like that before, and I like
it. Is certainly unique. Yes. Very, very blessed to have got to try that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
Maybe
Chris.
That's what happens at 21 years old, and when the distillery's like, I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do with this. Let's sell this to.
Yeah. What's the flavor profile? Everything.
Yeah. Oh, we accidentally put some flubber in it. Oh, this moon rock that we made this cask out of is very interesting.
Why is it glowing and humming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we draw it to a close there.
Yeah.
With a very unique whiskey at the end there, despite it being our bread and butter box Speyside.
I'm very surprised.
Yes, just shows that even if it's all, the region, especially region as populated with distilleries as Speyside, they don't all taste the same.
Yeah.
So as always, thank you very much for listening. Please leave comments below. Don't let Chris feel lonely.
Smells like.
Petrichor.
That's I haven't actually heard that before.
Petrichor. There you go. And yes, we will see you next time. See you later. Bye.